My research focuses on understanding the impact of gang violence in local communities in the city of Montevideo in Uruguay. I'm Uruguayan, and seeing the phenomenon of gang violence in my home country and in the place where I grew up was concerning to me, and I was trying to do something to kind of address that. There's been a marked increase in the presence and violence produced by gangs in some communities in the city of Montevideo, the capital of Uruguay. The point was to figure out whether these anecdotes that we were hearing, whether that was part of a more systematic problem. And what we learned is that, in fact, it is quite widespread. Roughly 15 to 20% of those that we surveyed have experienced some kind of contact or some kind of behavior of these criminal organizations. They exhibit violent behaviors towards communities. They also engage in these kind of non-violent behaviors, maybe give some small donations for community festivals. They might also offer to pay people's utility bills. Much like when you're trying to treat a disease, in order to come up with the right treatment, you have to understand what causes that disease and how it operates. And so that's exactly what our project set out to do. When you have the right treatment, you can implement better policies. What we argue in the project is that when the government provides, and has for a long time provided, extensive welfare services and people have access to those services in communities, it acts to mitigate the growth and the impact of these organizations. It's an indirect way of disempowering them. The current way in which policymakers will address some of these issues in general is through repression. Increased police presence, increased use of force, all of those things add another layer of complication to an environment that is already complicated. And so the hope is that this research demonstrates that there are other things that states can do to mitigate violence and to keep these organizations contained, continuing investment in welfare and community services that can hopefully help contain the growth of these groups and mitigate their negative impact on communities.